the greatest gift of all. Pretending day by day that somewhere soon could change. God's baby family, and the truth, love is all we need. Beyond the world, beyond the truth, beyond the words, we start giving. Hello. Afternoon, guys. Oh my, it's like New Year to me. I missed you all so much. Sammy, thank you for joining me, Jecinta. I appreciate that. Wow, it's been like a decade. Enjoy this music, guys. Invite someone else. God bless you all. Afternoon, everyone. Hi, Sammy. How are you, bro? Longest time. We are the children. We are the Lord. Afternoon, everyone, and thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. I hope we're having fun today. I hope we are blessed to be in the land of the living. Enjoy this music from Michael Jackson. I missed you guys so much. Please invite someone else. Thank you guys. Jude, I appreciate you. Amusa, thank you. Oluwale, thank you so much, guys. Please invite someone else. Brad, thank you for joining. Oh my, Clay, Michael, thank you guys. I miss you all so much. Oh my God, it's been like 4 days or 3 days since Sunday. I'm back, guys. I'm back, and you know what I do? We're talking about our children. All about the kids today. Thank you, guys. Please invite someone else. We are the world. The children are the world, Those are our future. Let's talk about our kids today. You and me. Let's make a better day for those children, guys. Woo. It's all about our children today. Thank you, Esther, for joining me all the way from Dallas. Girl, I appreciate you. Tell you I appreciate you. Invite someone else. We are the world. We are the children. That's Steve Wonder singing that song. Woo! I love this guy. Just you and I. This is wonderful song for our kids today. I missed you guys so much. Honestly, it's been like, woo. We are the world. We are the children. Oh, bros, thank you so much. My brother from Nigeria is saying that he loved my program. I should keep it up. Thank you, bro. That's what I want to hear. Thank you, thank you. That's family right there. Thank you. Love you, love you, love you. That's my brother from Port Harcourt. Honorable Samuel Oike himself. Thank you, bro. Stardeza, thank you for joining over there. I appreciate you. We're talking about our kids today. Over there, I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is your very own, as usual, Jesse of Sisters True Love Group International, all the way from Houston, Texas, bringing it live on my studio about depression in children. We're going to talk about our children today. It's not all about us all the time. And we'll forget that we have kids that are going similar situations with us. Last Saturday, the last time I came up on Facebook, we were talking about children, family, and love. And we have to pull these families together. But guess what? I thought about these children. A lot of things have been forgotten. We want to discuss about depression and stress that these children are going through every day. And most of us parents don't even identify that. And it could be deadly. Prince, thank you for joining. Gide, I appreciate you. Sanjay, thank you. Imebon, thank you for joining. You guys are wonderful. I love you guys so much. And once again, just to tell you that I missed you all for 4 days. Oh my goodness. It was like I've been away for 1 year out of Facebook, but I'm glad to be back. And I want us to forget about love this week. I'm going to treat the issue of children, depression in our kids. So we're going to talk about depression. We're going to talk about, stress on kids. We'll talk about some medications that can help them. We'll talk about psychological effects and all that. We'll talk about counseling and all that throughout this week until Sunday. I'm not going to talk about love anymore because it concerns our children. We need to give them ultimate and highest attention. Depression in children. Many of us, parents, have ignored the signs and symptoms of depression in our children. And we just want to call our attention to that. We want to bring awareness to parents, to mothers, single mom, single dad, co-parents and all that, bonded families, husband and wife in the same house. But let's look into these children so we can have some clue when these kids are going through depression. Star Sylvia, thank you for joining me. Depression in children is not all about when you scroll them, probably you're angry at them and you think they're depressed because they don't want to talk to you. No, those are not the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Depression in adults can be life-threatening. So is it in children. I want us to be aware and be very attentive. Children go through depression so much. And do you know the worst part of it? Most of them cannot trust anyone to discuss their feelings. And that is where it comes to be so difficult. Thank you, Sister Sylvia. Stephen, thank you for joining. Depression in children is very deadly. Why? Because these kids, most of them are piling up so much. And they don't know who to trust and how to go about it. And it's left for us, the adults and the parents, to look deep into the depression signs and symptoms for children. What are we talking about? Let's just start with the divorce issue. How many of the parents know that when they are divorced, husband and wife are no longer living together, that this kind of separation can depress the children that are being involved in this family? You know why? Because these kids are used to dad and mom together. All of a sudden, they don't know what is going on, to the point that dad and mom have to live separately. And most times, these children will end up living with their dad or end up living with their mom. Those parents are no longer together. Do you know what these children feel inside of them? Gildy said, God bless your ministry. This is very important. Kids are dying inside because of depression. I have no idea what to do. You are so correct. God bless you, Gideon. I appreciate that. God bless you. Thank you so much, sir. That's what I'm talking about. If you have any idea, any contribution, type it up. We want somebody to read. We want to say it. Our children are going through a lot of depression. And guess what? We are not identifying it. Having a divorce in a family can break children, break their morals, break their self-esteem, lower their performances in school, lower their individual communication with outside world. It will lower their trust among their parents. You know, when you have children, they trusted their life to you. They trusted everything, 100% of their being to their parents. And all of a sudden, that trust has been shattered away. That trust has been taken away from them. That security of mom and dad are in the same house has been torn apart. These children go through depression. They begin to ask themselves, is it because we are in their life that they're depressed, that they want a divorce? Is it because of what I did? And they cannot tell you all these feelings. They will begin to imagine, I trusted my dad and my mom to be together. I trusted them to go through anything together. These are two adults. How come they can't live together? Why am I staying with my dad alone? Why do I have to stay with my dad? Why do I have to live with mommy and don't see that every day? They go through that. The emotional trauma is very high. And unfortunately, most of them have no one to talk to. And they see a child being moody at school. Charles, thank you for joining me. God bless you. We're talking about depression in our children. You see a child that is so friendly and so accommodating and free in school, a child that is well known by his peers. You know, everybody knows this child, you know, in school, the teachers know the child is performing well. All of a sudden, their grades start dropping. All of a sudden, they start being unfriendly. They start associating themselves. All of a sudden, they start being to themselves. And parents don't want to ask what is going on. You think it's okay. Oh, yeah, it's because of the divorce. Probably he missed the mom or he missed the dad. This is not the issue of probably. This is a serious issue. We need to pay attention to what our children are going through. Adneji, thank you. Abraham, thank you. Sister Ellen, you're welcome. Prince, thank you for joining me. Please share. We're talking about depression in children, not only to divorcees or anything like that. For people that are married, two couples in the same house, and children are going through depression, we want to be able to identify it. Mom, thank you for joining me. When you see your child, Victor, good morning. How are you, sir? Longest time. Thank you for joining. God bless you. We're talking about depression in children. When you see a child that is no longer performing well in school, you want to ask, what is going on? Not just ask because the teacher sent the report card that he's not doing well or she's not doing well at school. Then you quickly, oh, why did you fail this test? No, that's not the issue. If it becomes a pattern that your child's grade is going down, it is called for serious attention. Parents, uncles, aunties, we want you to make a special attention to this child. Create time. Create time, a solidified, undistracted time with these children. Either you don't want to talk to them in front of other siblings, take this child out to have some close communication with him or her. You want to find out what is eating them up. It could not be only divorce that causes depression on children. Peer pressures in school can cause depression. Let me give you an instance. When a child is up to 12 years old, let's say a little girl, she have reached the time of having her period, and she starts going to school. She's mixing up with other girls. Probably the other girls have had the experience of seeing their period, and their moms were there for them to teach them what to do, how to put the pad, how to wash themselves clean, you know, the hygiene part of a young girl becoming a woman, you know, by seeing her monthly period. That other girls have moms that are nurturing them. But you see that this other girl is living with daddy. There was separation or divorce in the marriage. Daddy doesn't have time to teach that girl all those hygiene part of life. When she hit 12, she sees her period, she doesn't know what to do. Probably the teacher in school have to encourage her and teach her. That can cause a serious depression for a child. You want to be able to associate this child with some aunties, with some sisters, bigger sisters that can talk to her. We need to pay serious attention concerning our children. These kids are going through a lot of stuff. You want to teach her what she's expecting when she get older. Emmanuel Chichi, thank you for joining. You want to expose this little girl for the things that a woman will do. A girl living with dad might be subjected in knowing that the figure of a woman is not there. But that doesn't pay attention as long as you're paying bills and buying clothes for her. You think all is well. We want you to pay close attention. Expose this girl to sisters that are a little bit older or aunties that can nurture her when it comes to mommy's part. She might not have the time to tell you anything, but you see her getting withdrawn. Whenever it comes to her period time, she is scared of what her friends will say. She is scared of what to do. Nobody is telling her what she needs to do. And before you know it, she goes into serious depression. She will not want to associate with other girls because right now her self-esteem has started dropping. She doesn't know what others knew. Depression is not a good thing for a child to go through, especially when they cannot express it. We need to be able to identify when a child is not physically doing well. When a child who talks a lot begins to withdraw from talking and communicating with others, that is a serious sign of something is fishy that we need to know. That's more of the things that happen when a little girl is raped. We're going to talk about children all through this week. We need to expose some certain things that has been weighing our children down and that will get you to the point where you see that the outcome of these depressions can lead to suicidal attempt, can even lead for them murdering themselves or killing someone else because it's piling up and we adults are sitting there. They are showing you those signs, they don't want to say it out. And you're very ignorant, you're not noticing that something is not right. They end up acting stupid, taking away their lives and doing whatever that it takes to get things right. Most of us that are divorced or some of us that are separated right now, I want to encourage us. Kenneth King, thanks for joining. God bless you. If you are a divorcee watching me right now, especially ladies, or better, you say you're sick. Sorry, man, that you're sick. Please try to get some medication and get some more rest and drink a lot of water. Jack, thank you for joining. God bless you. Paul, I appreciate you. Yes, guys, keep on coming in and keep inviting someone else. We're talking about depression and stress in our children. That we're so ignorant of identifying some certain things that are holding this case. If you're a divorcee, I was saying, or you're separated from your spouse or your significant other, and there are children involved, despite what happened between both parties, I want to encourage us to not to separate these children from seeing the other person. If the opportunity is there for them to visit each party like the mom, the dad, allow these children to have that visitation. Most times, some divorce, don't get me wrong, is so sour and so bitter and so entangled with so much things that either the mom have the children and she will abandon the kids from not seeing their dad. It's not healthy. Ladies, if you're the one that have your kids and because of what their dad did, you don't want them involved with their dad, you're not doing them no good, but you're harming them a lot. Peter, thank you for joining me. God bless you. Queen Sling, thank you so much. God bless. Children go through some stuff for the fact that both husband and wife were together before the separation. It kills these kids knowing that they're no longer in the same umbrella with two parents. They don't understand what is going on. They don't understand why dad and mommy cannot be together for life. They don't get it yet. Some of them are 6 years old, some are 4, some are 5, some are even younger. And you're thinking, do they understand what is divorce, or they will outgrow it? No, they do understand, because they are used to seeing you and their dad together. They are used to seeing mom and dad in the same house. In as much as they are spoiled, they are familiar with that environment. So when you take them out of that environment, don't tell me she's 2 years old, she doesn't understand. Oh yes, she does understand. And that's why we want you to be able to talk to these children. Explain to them they have nothing to do with the separation of the two parties. Be open, don't be ignorant. This is the problem that we in the third country are facing today. Most of us don't pay attention. Excuse me, guys, the weather is changing and I'm beginning to run nose. I'm sorry. Some of the third world countries who are facing this, a man will take the children away from their mom and keep them for years without them seeing their mother. And you think you're doing them good. These children grow up in the society to be so angry and bitter, and you're asking, oh, the dad have everything. Why are they so angry all the time? They are piling up a lot of stuff inside of them. They miss their mom. They miss their dad, the one that they are not seeing. They miss the environment. And they cannot even say nothing about it. They are helpless. Can you imagine when you know that you're having pain and you're going through stuff, but at the same time, you cannot explain to nobody? It's more like when God does things and we say the Lord brings and he takes, and you cannot question God. But inside of you, you're eating yourself up, you're going through some depression and some pain, but you cannot do nothing about it. This is exactly typical example of what children go through when you separate them from their families. Apollonia, thank you for joining that film. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. I appreciate every one of you. Please keep on sharing and invite someone else. We are trying to make awareness about the depression that our children are going through, about the stress that we're putting them through, not knowing, because we are so occupied and focused on making money and running around other things that are not that important. These children are suffering every blessed day. We want awareness. If you are separated with your wife, allow the children to have visitation with their moms. If you are the woman with these children, give the dad time to see these children. The society is going to be ruled by these children. Their generation is coming to be the pioneers of this world. We need to expose them to the things that we need to expose them for safety. Kids are dying and committing suicide every day because of depression. And depression was surprised when it happened. We're like, oh, I didn't know that this child was depressed. Thank you, babe. I didn't know that this child was depressed. Was the best. My PA is just depressed. You know, I talked about my nose trying to run. She got me pepper already. Thank you, girl. Appreciate you. These children are going through stuff. And we don't know. We don't pay attention. Sometimes we don't know. Ignorance is a problem. So that's why we're discussing this. When we're ignorant of something, it can be forgiven. But when you're aware of it, there's no excuses anymore. What are we talking about? These kids need to be given the opportunity to express themselves. Before you get divorced, I encourage women and men, start letting the kids know that this marriage is not working out. You are not the problem that we have in this marriage. Talk to the kids and say, mommy and dad are grown-ups. We cannot live together because we argue all the time. We don't do things that are supposed to be done as couples. You have nothing to do with you kids. So now we're deciding to stay apart. Mommy is going to be in your life. Dad is going to be in your life. And you can ask mommy and daddy any question, anytime. You guys will be safe anywhere you are. Me and mommy will still be talking. We will take care of you guys together. But we're not having that peace living together anymore. Start making them to be aware. There's nothing to hide, because the more we hide it, the more we expose them to danger. But if they're aware of it and you keep preaching that, if you need to get a counselor outside, that's what you need to do before separation or divorce. Like I tell people, before a man gets divorced from the wife, it don't just happen overnight. Even those that catch their wives sleeping with their friends, they don't just end up immediately and move. It's something that builds up. So when the center is not holding, we want our children to be aware. No matter how young the child is, begin to nurture them for the things ahead of them. Don't put them on the cover like, oh, they are still young, they don't understand. You'll be surprised the after effect of separation from daddy and mommy or divorce on these children. The after effect is so devastating. You can't even imagine. So the best thing is to make awareness to them. Get them prepared. At least put them in the picture so they can understand that it's not all about them that is causing this problem. It's about the two adults who have decided not to live together. If we all can be doing this, we will reduce the level of depression and stress in our children. When you don't tell them nothing, all of a sudden mom pack her stuff and leave the house, or dad will pack and move out of the house. The kids have no clue what is going on. All they see is that dad is no longer in the house or mom is no longer in this house. How do you want them to cope? Who do they talk to? If they cannot believe you guys, who will be the counselor to this child for these children? The best counselors for divorce or separation or anything that the children are going through are their parents. Those are the best counselors. And these are the people they have trusted right from the time they came into the world. So you want to maintain that trust. You want to maintain that respect. You want to maintain that nurture by bringing them into everything. I know it's hard for some people to say, oh, why should I discuss divorce with my children? Well, you're going to be divorced anyways, isn't it? You're going to be living alone. So what are you going to tell them? Their dad is dead? Is that why you don't want them to see their dad? No. That's when I say people are so ignorant and inconsiderate. When you do that to these children, you're being very inconsiderate to them. Make them aware. Make them aware. Bring them in to the situations of life. The earlier, the better. And they will see some of them will be able to ask questions. Why can't both of you be together? Why can't you fix it? Then you guys have the opportunity to address matters to them. And they take it more lightly. And they'll be willing to talk about it. Even in their schools, when their friends will say, oh, your dad and your mom don't stay together, you see the grown-up ones like 12, 11 years old, they'll be able to say, oh yeah, two adults, they don't want to live together. They fight all the time. But now they don't fight no more. I go to my daddy every other weekend. It's okay. I have fun with my daddy. I go back to mommy. They know and they can talk about it. It will reduce the depression. But when they are not aware, they take it upon themselves that they are the cause of all these things. And that's when they hit depression mood. They start disassociating themselves. They start being so quiet. In school, they act up. Teachers tell them stuff, they will object what the teachers are saying. Bad characters begin to build, not that they're bad children, because they are very bitter and angry. And before you know it, a child that was born with smartness and very wonderful starts misbehaving and follow wrong crowd. And before you know it, it will be too late. That's when I always use my language. Things fall apart and the center cannot hold anymore. It will be too late for a child who have reached 16, 17 years old, going through depression all the way for almost 6, 7 years, and you didn't catch it. As of that time, this child is out of it. Most of them end up killing themselves. And they end up killing others because of frustration. They take it up to anything available. They want to act up because of our ignorance. We want to be able to catch those signs, especially third world countries. We need to be able to discuss the depression in children. We'll have some medications which I'm going to be taking as the classes go on. You know, we're going to list some meds that can help these children. If you see or hear that your child is depressed, or you cannot tell that this child is not acting right anymore, there are some meds that psychology doctors can give to control them. We will discuss about the medications and their side effects. Like I always say, no med comes without side effects. You know, every medication has signs and symptoms. So we have to be very careful. And we must not diagnose our own children. Not only that, anything that has to do with depression, suicide, all that, we must not be the ones to diagnose. All you want to watch out is for the signs and the symptoms. of those kind of things. And when you can identify those signs and symptoms, guess what? You should be able to report it to the primary doctor so we can get help for this child or these children, so we can eliminate suicide, so we can eliminate depression and stress upon them, so their life and their future can be better, and their self-esteem can be nurtured, and they can come back to normal case. Let's not be subjecting our children to things that are not supposed to be because we don't want to talk about it. Society is so large and so, technologized this time that children of 7, 8 years, they don't have to go online, and they don't know what these children are watching every day. So we have to be very careful, address issues in the house before they hit out, because you don't want them to believe outsiders against the insiders. And that's not serious, but it's going to cause too much damage. I don't just speak, friends, because I want to speak. I speak with some experience, and I speak to learn from others. I have children too. I have teenagers, 2 boys. My boys are my word. I'm telling you, you don't want to put them on the cover. Like I tell some of my friends, I talk about sex with my children and the girlfriend issues and boyfriend issues. I need them to be aware. It's not that I'm over teaching them because you're a nurse, you think you can. No, it's not about that. It's about civilization. I think that's the right word. It's about civilization. And this civilization we're talking about, don't get me wrong, it's not the civilization of technology that, the internet is there, they can do this, that. You'll be surprised. Civilization is very important. You have to be civilized in your home to discuss some things that will put your children in danger out there because of lack of knowledge. Even the Bible said we'll perish because of lack of knowledge. Awareness is power, which is knowledge. And knowledge is very productive when you can get it and keep it. Give your children the knowledge and wisdom that they need before you let them out. How can you have a teenager of 15, 16 years, you have not started teaching them about sex with girls, that they need to be careful because of diseases? Not only that, you have to be very careful when you talk to girls outside, because they can accuse you of rape or accuse you of touching them inappropriately, even when you did not do it. You have to be very aware of the trick of women. You need to teach those children. When you want to start having sex as a child, you must learn how to use protective devices. You have to protect yourself. You have to know who you're mingling yourself with. The girl that you want to hang out as a teenager, you have to know this child background. You need to know how wide she is concerning boys and girls. You need to expose those things to the children. You have to make them aware. If not, they will think it's okay and they jump into sex. Guess what? They pregnant someone one time. And they have to have that wife in their house. Are you willing to have a teenager of 15, 16, 17, 18 years old having children just like that? They don't even have a job and they want to have a child. But when you let them know the consequences and the pressure of raising a child, and know that, they will begin to tell their girlfriends, oh, girl, please, you better use something to protect us before we can't do this. They need to know. You're not over teaching them, but you're making them to be aware of the societal problem that we're facing out there. And most times, if you don't teach these children, they go and try it out because they will try it out, whether you like it or not. This case, you'll be surprised what they do outside. But what you teach them, they will not depart from it, because they will remember, oh, mom is not going to play. If anything happens, I am dead. They will be very careful when they're out there. It is better for them to know from you than going out there and mess up, and it will be too late. Then you will see a child that was not prepared to be a dad, but because of mistake, guess what? It's automatically a feather to somebody. A child fathering a child. That will depress that child. Most kids will start being depressed. Their education will be shut down. Their life will be messed up. They start doing the kind of job that they never thought they would do when they're growing up. Do you understand? Those things are contributing factors to suicidal and depression in children. Lack of exposure to the truth. We must carry our children along. We must discuss things, sensitive matters with the kids, especially when they hit the age of 12 years and above. No more secret. talk to your children. Let them have the freedom of communicating with their parents. Let them have the openness of expressing how they feel. If they're angry in school, they should be able to tell you, somebody made me angry. You come into it and begin to break it for them. Nurture them, talk to them and tell them how to handle stuff like that. You see kids are being bullied at school. They can't tell their parents. They're keeping it quiet. They're scared. Oh, my mom is going to kill me. Oh, my dad is going to kill me. Then they become depressed. Their mates are making fun of them. They don't want to talk about it. No, you want to open doors for your children to be able to discuss everything with you. It will eliminate a lot of depression and suicide in our children. John, thank you for joining me. God bless you. Loretta, I appreciate you so much. Adeku, thank you, Felice, for joining me. God bless you. WF, I appreciate you. You cannot hide anything from these children. You have to make awareness to this case. You need to be open to discuss everything and allow them to express themselves. Don't quiet your children out, even if they're 2 years old. They want to tell you something about school. Oh, please, I don't have time. You have to create maximum time for these children. Cynthia, thank you for joining. This case should be our priorities. If you don't have kids yet, you're a guy, you're a woman, you have to learn. That's why we teach these classes. These children are supposed to be priority. You have to pay attention to every signal that comes with our children. If a child loves to eat and they stop eating, you want to find out why they stop eating their favorite food. You're not being nosy, but you have to be very open to this case. Hello there. So how are you? Thank you for joining me. God bless you. Please share, invite someone else. So common signs and symptoms of depression in our children. I want us to take note. Ngozi, thank you for joining me. And as you're joining a little bit later, do not forget to go back and watch this series from the beginning to the end. It's going to help us. I encourage us, ladies and gentlemen, watch this series, share the video. We are talking about sensitive matter concerning our children, depression and stress and suicide among the kids because of our ignorance, because of our weakness of not expressing things to them and not allowing them to express themselves. So let's look at the common symptoms or some signs that you will see in your child, in your nephew or your niece. If you don't have your own kids, the signs that you can see, if their parents are not noticing, you notice them, you have to call attention of someone and tell them that these are the signs of depression and suicide on children. What is going on? Oh, so thank you so much. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. God bless you. I missed you guys so much for almost 3-4 days. Been out of town, Do the course. When it comes to duty as a nurse, I have to jump. I have to go do 1 or 2 trainings, requirement with state and all that crazy stuff for nursing. And just came back late last night and couldn't wait to come to Facebook to say what I love saying, to see my people and have good time with you guys. And I am here talking about depression on children and I'm loving it. God bless us all. I missed you guys, every one of you, so much. And I'm glad to be back. Thank God for his grace. And I know that you all are doing so well. Thank you. Chidi, thank you for joining. So let's look at these signs and symptoms that will show you that the child is going through depression or something is not quite right. Let's just put it that way. So we don't diagnose, but something is not quite right. And we want to use it and go to the doctors and explain to them to watch this child very closely. Change in appetite. When a child's appetite changes, it could be that this child will begin to eat a lot, non-stop. A child that doesn't eat that much will start eating a lot, Every time you see the child, he or she is hungry, they want to eat. Change in appetite. Or they have lost their appetite. They are reserved now, they don't want to eat nothing. You give them their favorite food, they tell you, no, I'm not hungry. Instead, they will start looking for snacks, stuff to chew, but they don't want to eat. Either they're eating a lot or they're eating less. Change in an appetite is a serious sign for depression in children. What did I say? Change in an appetite. It's not just like today, maybe the child loved pizza, I would say, and then you bought pizza today, the child didn't like it. It could be that you didn't buy the favorite pizza, so that's what you want to watch at. It's not a sign of depression now. But when it's a pattern, probably in a week or two, this child have lost some kind of appetite, not able to eat as usual. You want to find out if they're sick, because communication will break everything. You want to pay attention to your child and ask him or her, you have not been eating your favorite food. What is going on? Are you okay? Are you sick? Is your stomach hurting you? Or is it too spicy or something? You want to be able to mold the situation. You want to find out what is going on. And if they say, no, I'm okay, I just don't want to eat. Tomorrow the same thing is happening. It's beginning to happen all the time. Something is not right. Adults, pay attention. Oh, what is the thing? The thing is depression and stress, suicidal attempts on our children. Depression on our kids. It could be from 2 years old and up and older, but we want to watch out from the age of 12 years. Very close, and see what is going on. Chigoze, thank you for joining. Stelisbeth, I appreciate you. God bless you for joining me. We're talking about depression among our kids, especially from the age of 12 and up. We want to pay attention to everything that is happening to them. And if you just start joining me right now, don't forget to go back and listen to this series. It's wonderful, wonderful information. We're saying loss of appetite or change in appetite. A child might decide to be eating a lot or less, and this pattern is happening like a week or two. The same thing is happening. You see your child that love eating now reducing the way he eats or she eats. Not that they want to lose weight like right now, but they're not giving. Oh, sis, thank you, sis. Thank you. I love you, Sister Elizabeth. Thank you so much. And you see the appetite have changed. Their moods have changed. Or they're eating so much more than normal. Not just for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. Something has happened. Either in the house or outside the house. That child is depressed and needs to express him or herself. But you need to give room for that to happen. By going closer to nurture this child, to find out what is going on, make sure you push. Don't just ignore such signs. It's a serious sign. Don't ignore it. Push the button and see if you can find out what is going on. And you want to monitor closely. Talk to the school. There's counselors in school. Talk to the school counselor that this is what you're experiencing. Can they follow up with you and see what is going on with this child? He loved this food. He loved his food, but now he's not been eating well for almost a week or two. Don't ignore it. Tell somebody. You don't want suicide to happen. Tell someone immediately when you notice this kind of things. Another thing that you will check and see when it comes to signs of depression in children, you want to see their sleeping pattern. When a child is sleeping less now, a child that sleeps at least 8 to 9 hours every day, when he gets home from school or she gets home, does her homework or his homework, find something to eat, watch TV a little bit, and love going to bed at 9 o'clock. And you see them now staying up till 2 a.m. They are not sleeping. And you ask the child, baby, why are you not sleeping till 2 a.m.? Oh, I don't know, I just don't want to sleep. Sleep is not coming. Okay, do you want to drink some chocolate? Offer something? No, I'm not hungry. I just cannot sleep. That is typical teenagers' signs and symptoms of depression. Don't think it's okay, probably because they did sports in school, that's why. You want to monitor that pattern. The next thing you want to watch, you have to pay close attention to your case. And this is happening. They're no longer sleeping well. Something is fishy. Don't ignore it. Or you see them sleeping more than necessary. They wake up at 6 to get ready for school. This child will sleep. If you don't wake them up, the child is still sleeping till 7, 8. Now the child is going to school every day late because oversleeping. And you think it's okay, probably the weather changed. Don't make excuses when there is fire on the mountain. You have to find out, why is this child oversleeping this time around? You want to find out from them. And when that happens, if they are school-age children, start digging into the school. Find out how the grade is going. Find out the child's concentration in school. What is going on in class? Look for the teachers. Call their numbers. Find out what's going on with my child. This child is sleeping more than necessary. Somebody have to find out what is going on. Suicidal attempts in children does not just happen. It takes time to build up. And most times, if we catch it up, we can solve the problem by helping them get help. We can get them help out there. There's a lot of help out there. There are places that you can, enroll them for community awareness with other kids going through the same challenge. And you see counselors that are coming there to nurture them, put them in activities. And there's so many to do to avoid suicidal attempt. So many. So we don't want to ignore those, When you see changes in appetite, changes in sleep pattern, you want to watch out for the feelings of sadness and hopelessness in these children. It's not only from 12 years old now. Sadness and hopelessness can happen for a child of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It depends on the child's IQ. Some kids are smarter than others, and they can sense pressure faster than other people. If you have a 3-year-old or 4-year-old who's always sad, not just how you had the child has been a very friendly and very nice child, all of a sudden a 3-year-old or 4-year-old is sad, or you talk to the child talks back rudely, a little child. Something is eating the child up. Don't look at it and say, oh yeah, it's a little child. No. We want to cut that really fast. When they're feeling sad, bring that 3-year-old closer to you. Probably when there's nobody in the house. Look at the child face to face at the same eye level. Tell the child how much you love her or you love him. Ask him what is going on. Tell them that you're here to listen to them and you can never hurt them. Tell them that they can trust you because that's what they need from us. They need that worthy trust from us. They need that protection from us. They need that coverage from the adults. You want to assure them that you're here for them. You want to assure the 3-year-old or 4-year-old or above that you are in love with them, that you care so much about them, that you will do everything to protect them. These children go through stuff. You see children of 3 years old being raped by their own fathers, by their uncles, by people. How do we find out that the child has been raped? It's not that you will see blood flowing out of her vagina or something, no. But because of their sadness and their bitterness. You see a child of 3 years being so angry and so eager. When she sees men, she's running away. When she sees human beings, she's scared. Something has happened to this child. You don't want to say, oh, it's a child. No. You want to pay close attention to that child. This is how, when it comes to medical side, that's how we identify a child that has been abused, physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, and otherwise, because of their characters. The characters is what we look at before we can say this child has been abused. You see those attributes, you want to pay attention. And say, baby, why are you scared when you saw Uncle this? It might not be that uncle that raped the child or touched the child inappropriately. It could be another man somewhere, but that child registered that men can touch you anyhow and hurt you. Any man around that little girl, she will flip up. You want to see those things. And if you don't see it as a mom or a dad, this child grows up in adult age with that sense, knowing that somebody mistakenly touched them inappropriately. That child would be so scared of having a boyfriend in life or to trust any man in life. Is that what we want to do? No, that is not what we want to do. We want to break those protocols by being very smart and watching and nurture them. Give them the room to know that they can trust you. When you start asking these questions, if you can tell this child how much you can protect them and love them, you'll be surprised a 3-year-old telling you, uncle touch my breast, uncle touch my private part. Children will say, they know. Don't tell me a 3-year-old doesn't know what to say. They do know, they are very smart. Don't ignore any sign or symptom from any little child, boy or girl. Do not ignore that. We must open room, express room for our children to be able to trust us, for our nephews and nieces to trust us. A lot of kids have gone through a lot of depression because of what they met when they were younger. The age of 5 years, 6 years, and they go through it all the way to 12, 15, 16, 17 years old. When they reach 18, you see a little boy doesn't want to have anything with a girl. And you think it's normal. It's not normal. You see gay kids, and you think, why would my son want to be a gay? Why would my daughter want to be a lesbian? These are the things that they experienced when they were younger. That's when I said things has fallen apart. Center cannot hold because we parents are so busy overworking. Nobody is paying attention to what is happening for our children. We get home, we're so tired and worn out. We just want to go to bed, eat and go to bed. You don't know what happened during the day for your child. You don't even pay attention to ask your child, how was your day? How was school? How was the daycare? Are you okay? Is everything okay? Did you do your homework? Did you behave good in school? Is anybody okay in the school? Is there anything that happened you want to talk to mommy? You have to allow these children to express their feelings. Most times the children want to talk to us, but we're too busy. We're too occupied. Excuse me, guys. The weather is changing. When you're too occupied for your own child, when will you have time for that child? When the child hits the age of 20 out of the house, and you see that there have been problems already created, not only for the child, but for the society as a whole. Because whatever these children are going through that have not been addressed and taken care of, it's not only going to affect the child or the family of the child, it's going to affect the community, it will affect the nation, it will affect our global generation. Because these kids are the futures of tomorrow. If one child can be delivered from suicide, you have delivered a nation, because that child will grow to get married or something, will have a child, and will know how to nurture the child will nurture another child. You have saved generations to come. But ignorance, we need to slow down the way we are doing things, ladies and gentlemen. We need to slow down. When a child is having difficulty concentrating, a child is not able to finish a task, and it becomes a pattern, it's a call sign for depression. When you tell a 3-year-old, sit down here, stack these blocks for me while I make your food and come in, that child is not able to concentrate and do it. Tomorrow you give that child the same assignment. It could be a 7-year-old, 10-year-old, 12, 15, 16, 18, it doesn't matter. You keep repeating yourself, they are not concentrating to finish a particular task. There is something going in mentally. Psychologically, we don't want children of 3-4 years to be so distracted. Yes, toddlers, we say terrible tools. Yes, they are terrible tools, but that's when we want to penetrate into their mental status. That's when we want to start guiding them on how to know when it's no and yes. But if a child is 3 years old, 4 years old, they don't know how to concentrate. These are age for school, and they have not learned that from the house. Something is not right. Boy, oh boy, thank you for joining. God bless you. Evans, I appreciate you. Please share, share, share. This is very sensitive topic today. When a child is not concentrating anymore, something is not right. These are signs and symptoms of depression in children. When a child is always tired, with low energy, you tell them, I'm tired. Can you come and eat? I'm tired. Every time they are tired, they are tired. Low energy, a young child, that is a sign of depression. You want to watch, why are you always tired? Do we want to talk about a child having the feeling of worthlessness, hopelessness, and not worth nothing? They feel guilty. I am the cause why my mom and my dad divorced. When they start acting that way or saying stuff like that, they are depressed. They are beginning to take blame for our own mistakes. I'm not even worthy to be their children. They don't love me. My mom won't let me go to daddy. Daddy will not let me go to mommy if I go to his house. They are feeling depression, worthlessness. They don't want anything in life. We don't appreciate them. And you think it's a joke. Oh, he will get over it. She will get over it. No, this is not a joke of she will get over it. It's a 111 alert. Emergency call. You don't want them to take blame for our foolishness. Because we are divorced and we did not address the issue to this case, and you want them to take blame for your divorce? No, we don't want our children to take blame for our separation with our spouse or significant others. We don't want them to take that stand. When the child is taking blame that he or she is the cause of the separation, you need to stop it right there and address the matter. Tell them, no, baby, it's because the two adults could not work together. It's not because of you, baby. Daddy loves you and mommy loves you. You have to talk to them. Sir Dominic, and thank you for joining. Israel Chukwu Juku, thank you. God bless you, sir. Please share, invite someone else. Obadi, you do not speak English. We know that from the beginning that you don't speak English. I'm sorry, sir. There's nothing we can do right now. I told you to try to look for a translator. Okay? God bless you, sir. When they're feeling worthless, you have to address the issue. Suicidal and the depression level in children is overgrowing and is not helping the mother. It's not helping society, neither is it helping us as families. When a child is always irritated and angry and bitter and hyper, stuff like that, those are signs and symptoms. Okay, Abade, you're translating by your phone. Awesome. Those are signs and symptoms of depression. When a child is always complaining, my stomach hurts, oh, my head is hurting, constantly there's one thing or the other. The child is telling you, I am depressed. I need someone to talk to. Can I trust you? That's what they're expressing. But they want you as an adult to catch the joke, to ask that question. What is depressing you? Why is your stomach always hurting? What is going on? Baby, do you want to talk to me? What do you want mommy to do? Do you want me to call daddy and put him over the phone? You want to find out when kids start making excuses for everything, they are getting filled up in the brain. They want attention. They want someone to notice that they are depressed and they're going through some mental challenges. They want you to ask them how they are doing. They want you to create time for them. Don't be so busy not to create time with your children. Because I'm telling you, when you lose the track on this case, those jobs will still be there. They will still hire more people to do that job. But you have lost closeness with your case. Let us create time to reduce the level of depression among our children. I've said about social withdrawal. When a child who loves going out and having fun, like boys love playing football and all that, stop doing all those things. They start withdrawing themselves. You're asking them, oh, your friend is not stopping by today. No. Oh, are you going over there? No. Why not? I don't know. Those are very sensitive, sad signs and symptoms that we want to watch at. Don't get me wrong, like my own boys, they are used to being among themselves. They don't overdo stuff with others. That's how they are brought up and raised up. They love themselves, they spend time with their friends, but not like jumping every time going to friends or friends coming. They can stay on their games and be playing with their games, and their friends are in their places, they're playing. You can hear them talking to each other on the phone and killing themselves playing games. That's the way they express themselves with their friends. Once in a while, they want to go to the movies. Yeah, that's fine. That's their pattern. But when my son now starts telling me, Mommy, I want to go out. Mommy, I'm going out today. Tomorrow, they are going out. That's not their lifestyle. I want to question, what is pursuing you? You want to open that window of communication. Baby, am I doing anything wrong that you don't want to stay around the house anymore? You're going out every day. Now, what's going on? Anything that is not normal to what you have been seeing in your child is a serious sign that needs to be addressed and questioned. That is why we are the adults. That's why we are the guardians. That's why we are the parents. That's why we are uncles and aunties. That is why God put us in those positions for those little ones, to guide them and protect them, and to nurture them and give them the tools for the society outside. There are symptoms that you'll be surprised. And people say, oh, it doesn't make sense. And it does make sense. These things will contribute to a child thinking of suicide. When all these things are happening and nobody's addressing it, You see your teenager child, a little girl, all of a sudden, she's crying every day. Hey, you're asking her, what's wrong? Leave me alone, I just want to cry. I don't feel right. I just want to cry. Oh, well, start crying. No, 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 no. You want to find out. I'm telling you guys, if you love these children, you love these, your nephews and nieces, you love them the way we're supposed to love them, every bit of their concern should be something for us to worry about. I will always say stuff, but you guys know me very well. I don't just speak. Let me give a little bit of statistics. Very proven. Just a little touch. Because I just get back from town. I am a little bit tired. My nose is running and all that. Tomorrow, I will go back deep concerning depression on our children and suicidal attempts. We'll go in and dig so that people will know and be aware of it. We don't need to pay for a degree to hear about things that are happening on our children. We can address things, and help kids to make a better life. Idea for us. We have to be able to address some certain things concerning our children. Let me give a little bit of statistics. What increases the likelihood of childhood depression? We're talking about the things that increases childhood depression. We have discussed about those, but look at this. Take your pen, take your paper. Let me give you guys a statistics about how many children are suffering of depression. About 1 out of every 40 children in the United States suffers from childhood depression. Statistically proven. I'm not just making it up. This is for real. Statistically, 1 out of every 40 child or children are going through childhood depression in the United States. Under the age of 10 years, childhood depression is significantly more common in boys. Childhood depression, significantly more common in boys. They said in every 40 children you see, 1 of them is depressed. And depression leads to suicidal attack. 1 every 40. Imagine in a school where we have more than 5,000 children or 2,000 children, and you have 1 out of 40 being depressed. The number right there. That means people, adults like us, are not paying very close attention to this case. And these children are from the age of 10 years. You can imagine, age of 10 years are going through depression. Can you imagine that? And it's more in boys. Statistics prove that by the age of 16, girls have a greater incidence of depression. You know why at the age of 16, girls will start being more depressed? Now they think they're big girls. They are big girls. They're supposed to have a boyfriend, appreciated by a boyfriend and all that. They're attached to one guy or the other in school and all that. They start expecting things from men and the society. This is when girls have the more incidence of depression. And this is when we want our parents, mother and father, teachers, to pay close attention to whatever that happens to these young girls. We need to decrease the level of depression in our children. Studies show that at any point in time, 10% to 15% of children and adolescents have some symptoms of depression globally. That is a high level right there. 10 to 15% of children and adolescents. Children, we're talking about 10 years old, 16, 17, and 18. 10 to 15% of them go through depression in one way or the other. And we must not allow that to be a pattern. We must not allow that to be repeating. We must be aware, and we have to do something in togetherness. So I enjoyed my day, as you guys will see. I didn't have to come out today, but I must come out and say hello. I've missed you guys for 2-3 days right now. I think we made a little bit of difference, but this weekend we're not going to talk about love. We'll continue to deal with the issue of depression, the signs and symptoms, the medications to help these children, and all that, all through the week. So you must tag someone about this topic. Tell somebody about it. Share the link. Let's discuss about our children. It's all about this case. They are the leaders of tomorrow. And I do appreciate each and every one of you for joining me. God will bless us all. Like I said, this is your very own Jessie of Sisters True Love Group International, all the way from Houston, Texas, brought to you live from my studio. You guys have a wonderful day. As I go about my business for the day, and I'm glad I was able to reach out to you all today. God bless us all. And we will see tomorrow by the special grace of God. Love from me and Sisters True Love Group International to you all. Thank you, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.